One of my favorite things to do for belief is research the ingredients. There's nothing that gives me belief like doing a deep dive into our ingredients. And even though it's products that we think we know and understand, like active, like we all use it, we all know what it does. It doesn't feel like we need a training on it, but it's still every time I'm like, whoa, I didn't realize that. And I know I've researched this 100 times. So I wanted to kind of do a deep dive on active and maybe start hitting some other products so that we make sure we're educating our teams well on these products and also sharing about them well on social media. And so that's what we'll do in the second half. I just pulled a bunch of little things for stories for active to share with y'all too after we do a little training. So first, I just want to kind of go through the ingredients and tell you some things that I love to use, and I know I've told y'all this before. Scholar.google.com is my favorite way to research ingredients if you want to get really science and nerdy, because then you're not going to get opinion blogs. You're not going to get, you're going to get literal, like, studies and facts on the ingredients. And of course, we don't always have the same dosage in our products that are used in studies. So if you really want to do an even deeper dive, you can start looking into the amounts and things like that. It's not always available in proprietary blends, but at least knowing that these ingredients can do these things, and sometimes the dosages are the right amounts, and sometimes we can see that. So it's huge in belief on what these products can do. So first I want to start with caffeine. Of course, we know active has caffeine. It has 100 milligrams of caffeine to support energy, and this caffeine is coming naturally through green tea and yerba mate. So that's a given. But along with the caffeine, we have L-theanine. Partnering caffeine with L-theanine is huge for people who are sensitive to caffeine. It's going to take away any of those jitters that they're going to get from other products. And it's also going to help with focus. So this kind of gives it that, like, if you have ADD, it kind of works like an ADD med does. And that's the same in our Edge. It also has partners those two together. And I love that Plexus, anytime we seem to give you caffeine, they seem to love to partner it with L-theanine, it's just a great partnership. The next ingredient that I want to talk about is Actogen. There's a lot of really cool things about this. It's a US patented ingredient. That's a completely natural compound that it's used to increase. It's literally all of the studies are just about fitness and exercise. It's used to increase exercise to exhaustion times so that those times are, you don't have as much, exhaustion after your exercise. It reduces inflammation buildup and replenishes aged muscle cells with new ones. So with the endurance part on this, it kind of broke it up into some categories. One study found that the Actogen increased endurance times by 20% during a cycling. And
What
with
is this ingredient, Nikki?
this
What?
is
How do
the
you spell it? How do you spell
Actogen,
it? Oh, yes.
Actigin. Yeah. Yeah. And it reduces fatigue by increasing ATP production, which is the body's main energy source, and it reduces cortisol production, which we know reducing cortisol is always great. It speeds up muscle recovery by reducing inflammation, promoting muscle tissue repair. Research has shown that Actogen can reduce inflammation markers and it goes through all the different markers that it reduces. I don't know if you really need all of that information. Y'all might be more interested in that part. But it also increases glutathione levels, which is your body's main antioxidant, which can help with that oxidative stress. And then it talks about it helps with mental focus. And this is where the immune system, I know you've probably seen people talk about how active helps your immune system. It's this ingredient that's doing that. It boosts the immune system and protects the body from infection and disease, which is great for athletes too, because you're putting a lot of stress on your body and you want to make sure you're staying healthy. The next ingredient is the L-citrulline malate. So this is the ingredient that, we heard this talked about a lot in the beginning. I don't hear it talked about as much anymore, but that increasing that nitric oxide production in your body. So this amino acid naturally increases that in your body, which is cool for a couple reasons. It makes your blood vessels bigger, basically, so that you have more blood flow, and it lowers your blood pressure, which again can be good when you're doing extreme exercise. But it also helps with erectile dysfunction. So, if you know any men that that are having issues with this, sneak some active in their daily regimen.
So the layman terms for telling people is it well, it's not layman if you say it like this. So it dilates the vessels to all the muscles. And then you're stressing all the muscles. That tends to get their attention.
That's a great way to put it. Even muscles women don't have.
Thank you.
So that is, but the big thing for me with this ingredient is that one thing I really noticed when I first started it is how sore I would get after workouts. Like it massively increased my muscle soreness. So I love it for that reason. It also, another reason they say that it may be helping men with that is it also is slightly increasing testosterone levels. So I know, I mean, even sometimes in women, my testosterone runs really low, like having a slight boost in that can be helpful. And then we have the N-acetyl L-tyrosine. So sometimes this is seen as said as NALT, N-A-L-T. And I've skipped, this one's not shown as one of the key ingredients on their website, and I don't know why, because it really is a big ingredient too that does a lot of great things. It helps boost cognition, especially in stressful situations. It improves your decision making, creativity, cognitive flexibility, working memory. But one thing I loved about it that I found was it converts the L-tyrosine into dopamine, or into L-dopa, which produces dopamine. I don't know about y'all, but one thing that I do love about active is I feel happier. And that probably is why, because it's increasing my dopamine. We also
I think it's helped me post chemo. I have not had the long-term memory loss and cognitive loss that
really?
most everyone that I know in chemo ends up with. But I've got another lady who started using the products, and we added active into her regimen after she finished chemo. And she said she can also tell a notable difference in her cognitive abilities now. So
I love that. That's awesome. I mean, it's so much more than a clean energy drink. And then there's also the beetroot juice powder, which high concentrates of this. It helps with the nitric oxide also. And it may help improve power, endurance, and recovery when taken before exercise. So, this is a product we can definitely promote as a pre-workout. So make sure that, I know people are always asking, why doesn't Plexus have a pre-workout? Well, we kind of do. So maybe it's not the same ingredients as some of these other pre-workouts on the market, but we have things they don't have. So always kind of make sure we're explaining that to our customers in this product. And then there's that S7 blend. It's kind of harder to find information on that one because that seems to be something that, Plexus has put together, but we know these ingredients are amazing in that one because it's got the green tea, the turmeric, tart cherry, blueberry, broccoli, kale. I mean, anytime we have those things in a product, we know it can't be bad. So great ingredients to help with just those antioxidants, just the huge dose of antioxidants is also going to help with immune system. But yeah.
Has there ever been any talk, is like the beetroot, is it different in different flavors?
I don't know. That's a great question.
I wonder about that.
Yeah, that is a good question because you would think that if it would be changing the color of these like pineapple things, but the beetroot juice powder is in the proprietary blend. So like in Slim, when they use it, it's used as a coloring, but this one's actually in the proprietary blend. So I would think there would be the same amount in every one of them since it's part of the blend, if that makes sense. But I don't know how it's not coloring the product. So it does make me wonder. It might be a really low dose on that one. But maybe we should ask Dr. Hartman. I think that's a great question.
Maybe we should have a team call and have Dr. Hartman on the team call.
Oh, and just ask him all the product questions we want. It's actually a great idea.
Just saying, maybe get some people on there.
Oh, I love that. I wonder if we could get him to do that. I don't know if he'd want to be. Maybe if we gave him the questions like ahead of time,
Yeah.
Yes.
so we didn't like blindside him. Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's a great idea. Ooh, I'm gonna look into that.
He's my
Oh.
nerd crush. I mean,
Huh?
he's my, I seriously, I can listen to him talk and explain things all day. It's just so easy.
I know. I know. I like that idea. I'm gonna write that
Poor
down.
guy. We sat with him at winter's dinner and
Oh yeah, I was with y'all then. Yeah.
I felt so bad for him.
Okay, so now we're going to share about active inner stories. I'm going to post some things in the Momentum Makers chat that we can all kind of pull from. Or maybe if I always like share things in there, I'll give people FOMO maybe and they'll show up. I don't know. But I pulled some videos and some other things that you can use. So I'm going to start sharing some of those things in there right now. I'm going to stop the recording.